Good morning, David.
Good morning, Salim.
David, let us move from individual levels to organizations. What are the main risks that affect organizations at corporate level, and how these risks can be managed?
Yes, there's some talk about the corporate individual or the corporation as a person, a sort of legal entity. And I think there are some parallels between corporate organizations and individual people. We talked in our last discussion about the main risks that affect individuals at a personal level. And we talked about those obviously being linked to objectives, which is true at corporate level as well. But the main sources coming from either our internal environment, our values and beliefs and our attitudes and our preferences and our choices, and then also from the external environment, from our friends and family, from our community, from our national culture. And the closer somebody or some group is to us, to me personally, the stronger their influence is. I think the same is true for organizations. Mm-hmm. So clearly, risks affect organizational objectives, their strategic goals, their purpose for existing, and the organization needs to be clear about what those things are. Some of the main threats and opportunities in achieving those strategic corporate goals come from inside the corporate person, come from our corporate culture, come from our processes and procedures, come from our policies and strategies, come from the way that we organize ourselves and the way that we communicate, from the style of our leadership. These are internal characteristics of the organization which pose threats and opportunities to our achievement of our own strategic goals. So as with individuals, I may be my own worst enemy. It's the same can be true of a corporate organization, a corporate entity. Yes. And often we are very blind to our own internal environment. As an individual, we need emotional intelligence. The same is true of a corporation. They see all of the threats and opportunities out there, and the competition is coming, and there's the regulatory environment, and they don't look inside and say, how are my people influencing my ability to deliver? How are my policies and my leadership style affecting the culture which affects our ability to manage risk? So we need to have that internal perception as well. And that means having good communication channels both up and down, the ability to allow people to raise concerns without being blamed or shut up, the sort of whistleblower idea of somebody who can raise a concern without being disciplined. These sorts of things internally are helpful to be able to take the temperature of the internal organization. But externally then we have got the external factors like the marketplace, the competition, the environment itself, the political and legal and regulatory frameworks and so on. And then the main threats and opportunities will depend on what our objectives are, what our internal and what our external environment might be.
Well, very, very interesting, these similarities between individuals and corporates.
Yes, I think some people say you can sue an organization as a corporate entity, an individual, and so corporate manslaughter, that sort of idea, it's almost like the organization murdered somebody. They have responsibility for the safety of their employees and their contractors, and we need to take the same responsibility as if I was personally responsible, because the corporation has a legal identity. And so as an identity, as an entity with an identity, then it's required to take responsibility for its risks in the same way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
It's a pleasure.